Hi.
Hello.
Y'all, hello, hi. Welcome back to Uncancel Culture.
I know.
Y'all, this is our last episode of the season.
It is. It is. Don't cry yet. Just this of the
Don't
season.
cry.
Because there'll be
It's
more.
been such a good journey.
I know.
This isn't gonna be the average episode because this is gonna be the episode where we thank you, but we also talk about our journey doing this.
Yeah.
We are so appreciative. This has been so amazing and just so fun. And I have
know.
so much to say. Christina has so much to say. So
We're going off book. No, not the regular
off script,
structure.
for real.
We could still do a Uncultured of the Week and Cancel Court for show because I got some people.
I have several. I have a very long list for the Uncultured of the Week, but we'll get to that.
But yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I really don't know where to begin. One thing that we keep saying, Shahem and I, is like the way that we did not understand what it was gonna be like actually starting a podcast. Let me tell you something. Them Sag placements took over the wheel.
And our synastry is like both of our Sag placements together. It is nothing but fireworks.
Because you're a rising Sag and a what else? Do you have another?
Just a Sag rising.
I'm a Sag Mars and Jupiter Sag, and it just choom,
literally
choom. And then we said, "Oh,
yeah,
this is work. Oh, this is why this is like 5-6 different jobs in one."
Mm-hmm.
The only person that has been helping is Josh. Well, now and Walter today, but woo,
it's been a journey. Frankly, I also didn't understand how much work goes into a podcast, especially one where we have like in studio stuff.
Yeah.
But even just in general, getting guests. Shouts out to every single person who came on this season. Like,
thank you.
So many of you worked with our last minute efforts. Like, you roll with the punches. It's really harder than it looks, y'all. And frankly, I'm excited for season 2 and what that's going to look like. We already have ideas. This is not a goodbye and not even for too long. Actually.
Probably not, to be honest with you.
We want to come back with a bang. Yeah. I already have some ideas for.
I think this has been like a pilot season. You know what I'm saying? It's a pilot. You got to just get it out there. And I think it was really helpful for me to just get it out there and start, because sometimes I'll just ruminate on an idea too long. But typically what always works for me is I just have to do and like figure that out in the process. And I think doing stand-up for like a year and a half now has also helped with that, because whenever you're like writing a bit, a set, a joke, you don't know how that's going to go until you're on stage in front of people. And that, reminding myself of that, like, I don't know how anything is going to go until I just do it and experience through it, even with the ups and the downs. So I think it was, when we tell you it was Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. Oh my God.
over collard greens.
And I'm still mad. I'm still upset that Christina brought that baby scoop of greens.
I did not bring a baby scoop of greens.
Yes, you did.
No,
and you know what? I bought like 3 or 4 pans of baked mac and cheese, enough for people to take home. Christina came with one little container, and Christina's collard greens are phenomenal. If you haven't, you are, oh my God, like they are really, really good. Like the old school type of good.
Thank you.
And I don't be liking everybody's food for real.
Because you cook down.
Cook a mean collard.
And
but
I know
I had them before that too, because I had them, was that the Thanksgiving before?
2 years prior.
2 years before that.
Yeah.
Like, the nerve for that big ass Friendsgiving to bring a baby scoop of greens.
First,
but I'm gonna let that go. I'm a tourist for real, y'all. I'm sorry. Cause
I didn't expect you greedy heathens. I brought a nice Pyrex. A nice Pyrex. It was gone within minutes. There was no seconds available. But I did just, because greens compact.
And they saved me no pot liquor. Oh.
I could always make more.
Then what's stopping you?
You right.
Hello? I'm
for
not
our
contesting that.
our
Matter of fact,
inaugural.
yeah, you owe me some. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
That
Back
is
to the
crazy,
podcast,
right?
y'all.
But that's how it happened.
yeah.
I was.
It was such a that was such a magical moment though, because I think it really speaks to the way that when you genuinely connect with people
Yeah.
and you let it happen, it just will happen.
Yeah.
I at the time I was working on starting a podcast with some other people, and that was like gonna be a good idea too. Like, don't get me wrong. But the second you and I started talking about this, even it just like it felt right. And I'm somebody like I'm a Pisces moon too, if y'all don't know. I go off of my intuition, like my feelings, like I really trust my intuition. And my intuition told me the second we started talking, it was great. But when I really knew that what we had was good, y'all, our segments, Josh, who is our main producer, was like, oh my, he teaches people how to do podcasting for a living. When he heard about our segments, he was like, this is like such a natural, like really good like structure that y'all have. Do you know that Christina and I sat on the phone and in all of 10, 15 minutes?
Yep.
All of this was birth. Like it just was it's such a natural working relationship.
No epidural.
And I want to say Jesus. I just want to take this time to say Christina is so slept on, and I feel like y'all sleep on Christina. And I have to say this as someone who is working so closely with Christina now. Y'all do not understand the creative genius that is Christina. And I knew that Christina was super talented and super smart and super witty. But like genuinely, like working with you, I'm learning like that everything I thought was divided, it needed to be multiplied multiple times. Like y'all do not understand.
What?
No, I think you are one of the most talented people I know.
Really?
Like, yes. And it's people don't understand a lot of this, like it's on the fly, y'all. She be coming up with this stuff on the fly. Like, and it challenges me to want to be a better person and to want to put more energy into what I do, because what you do is amazing. I'm honored to work with you.
I'm trying to think of what
honestly.
I do.
No, girl, you funny as hell. And like,
Thank
frankly,
you.
you're very creative. Like this whole thing, like working with you is very rare that I come across people that I feel like can help me mold something. And like I feel like putting this together was so easy because you were really like helping to guide and structure this in a way that I thought was very tangible, but it was super creative and fun.
God.
The whole time.
Thank you.
Of course.
And I feel like I literally just this week was having a little bit, I've been feeling like I'm in like a creative depression because I'm like feeling inhibited. That's a whole other thing with like visibility and stuff. And like typically when I feel like I want to get into something else or do something else, I just like have been able to do it. And that has been like all my moves. Moving to France was that. Moving to France the second time was that. Moving to New York was that. I said I want to move to New York, and a month later I was out here. But this is the first time
That's some Scorpio shit, by the way. Like,
Is
wow,
it?
yeah.
Damn, really? I thought that was just Mars. Is it Sag and Scorpio teaming up?
I think it's teaming up because like that's really, but I feel like Scorpios are really good at like, I'm gonna do this and it's done like the next day.
I'm always transcending. It's like a phoenix. It's like
that's literally y'all.
Yeah. It's constant rebirth and death, and so I've been feeling that budding, and I'm like, this is the first time I've had those feelings with visibility, and like I've been wanting to be creative differently, but I'm so used to what people already expect of me from being visible for years that I've been feeling like I can't.
Wow.
So like I'm like, fuck,
Girl, this is you with your hands tied behind your back. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you imagine you without it.
Then that's what I'm gonna work on. I have plans. I said I think I'm gonna give myself a month to post whatever it is that I want and create whatever it is I want, not care about what folks think. But I appreciate you saying that because yeah, I really enjoy being creative. Like and I think
it's natural for you.
Yeah. It's like where I birth thing. Like it just is, I'm like boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's the connection. Like just make it look like this.
Can I also point out like synastry, like our chart synastry is so, if you don't know nothing about astrology, synastry is when you lay two charts over top of one another and you see how good the elements work together. My Jupiter is in Scorpio. Like,
It
And
is.
it feels like every time I work with you, I just feel like I'm expanding. It feels like abundance. Like I feel it. House of abundance.
Also,
Like,
please. Because this is like, I'm very happy to hear this because I was so insecure that I wasn't going to be good to work with.
what?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Because I don't think you guys understand. Shahem is a workhorse. But this is what we talk about when it's like you learn so much. I also have been like, I'm learning so much more about this person in such an intimate, it's very intimate to create with people. I don't think, some people talk about that, right? Some people see it in certain realms, but like the intimacy of creating with somebody, it literally is a birth. Like you're birthing with, and if we got into chakras at home, but I'm a little woo-woo. It's wool by the sacral chakra. Like it's literally something that is so intimate.
Your roots.
And it is. And to be able to do that with someone, it really brings a certain type of intimacy and knowing of each other. And I remember like, damn, I've known Shahem for coming up on 3 years now in person. And I was like, and I've never seen Shahem in this way before. Like the way you put into everything that you do, 100%. Is like, I don't think people understand that. I didn't even understand that from just watching like the content you make. But I'm like, you really are. Shahem really a therapist.
I am full time.
I like really a therapist, and on top of does all of this other stuff to be a full-time creative. I'm like, I don't even understand how one person can handle and do all this stuff. And I was able to see a different level of vulnerability from you, and like. That was also like...
You held me down.
But I also figured out how to hold each other down, too. Because I'm very emotional and very, like, a lot of, like, anxieties ruminate and stuff that I was, like, afraid would be projected. And then there were so many moments where you would say the thing that I was already thinking or feeling.
We were both feeling it, yeah.
Genuinely. And I was like, I'm nervous to disappoint. Like, that when you talk about people-pleasing being a manipulative trait... Yeah. The people pleasing, I'm like, oh my God, what if I'm a disappointment? What if I'm a disappointment? And then you would say the same thing that I'm feeling. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we're right here.
Yeah. Oh my God. I hope that, like, because we took a little hiatus like a couple weeks ago. I know the people know this, like, but that's exactly what is important for us to embody with each other. Like, holding space. That's one of my favorite things that we did is like when you were not like able to do something because you had a lot going on. Like I picked up some slack when I didn't have the capability. You picked up the slack. We just like held each other down. And I think it's like that ebb and flow that's so important to like any working connection, but friendships, like partnerships in general. And I feel like that was so easy with you because we really just like, we like had the ebb and flow. Like it's just really good. And I think, I don't know. It just felt so natural. I thank you and receive all of the positivity. Like the feeling is very mutual. I think you're a workhorse too, though. We just have we are day and night when it comes to work because Christina is Christina works late in the day, and I'd be like, I'm up at like the butt ass crack of dawn, ready to work. But
I'm up late. I swear that, bro. I'm like, it's like 3 a.m. I guess I could.
We really are sister signs.
That is very Taurus and Scorpio coded. Because I'm like, what you mean? It's 11.
I'm be in bed by 9:30.
And that's when I start. I'm like, now I can rest and open up my laptop and do the thing. You know, and I could learn how to do this in an hour. I stand by.
The funniest one.
I stand by that I could have learned how to do them damn edits.
The software we use for editing our clips. I had learned it, like it took me a while to learn it because I had learned it on like this brand trip. And like they were teaching us AI software and stuff like that, how to use software to edit stuff. So it makes the editing process quicker, but I had to learn how to do it manually. Christina talking about something. I'm like, all right, Christina, this is the clips that we're going to do. And let me know, I'm going to teach you how to use the software. She's like, I'm going to start later. Because I'm going to learn the software in an hour. I'm like, girl, it took me like literally months to learn this. You going to learn it in an hour? She was like, yeah, I am. I said, girl.
I stand by that.
Meanwhile, we had met, and I was walking her through the software. It's like 8,500 steps, mind you.
The call was what, like an hour?
It was an hour. But you was gonna learn that on your own?
Maybe not, but you could, whatever. You could have made a YouTube video of it and sent it to me.
You know, they say that Tauruses are the stubborn ones.
You are.
Well, yes, but also Scorpios are part of that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. We're gonna share.
Well, yes.
Well, yes.
Absolutely. I also think in the midst of working together and creating together. And I like that we have that similar vision. I think when creating with people and folks, and you can see how there's not like a similar vision and a similar goal, and like a willingness to kind of like shift whatever the vision and goal and let it kind of do its thing, literally like a baby. You know what I'm saying? It's like we could have an idea of where we think something's gonna go, but then that might not be where it's led to. It helps that we both were locked in. Yeah. That really helps. That was the fact that we both locked in.
I think this is a good opportunity to even talk about like what our vision was, because like we keep saying that we birthed this at Thanksgiving, but I don't think people understand, because we faced a lot of criticism when we first came forward with this idea, and I just want people to understand, like, this was not just like, let's just do a podcast. This was very much so, we are noticing a problem within our society as a whole, and we wanted to address this problem in our society. What that problem was carcerality. Clearly, Christina and myself have both been on the receiving end of a lot of vitriol and hatred online. And frankly, online, the internet is a third space at this point. It is an integral part of our society as a whole. And being able to exist in society is a right that all of us deserve. Yeah. Except Amy Schumer. But like, that's not the point.
And Jonathan Majors.
Majors. I'm sorry. Like, civil rights fine or not, like, does not, but that we getting away from the point. The point is, we wanted to create like something to kind of challenge the narratives, the culture that was created. And we knew, the thing is, we knew what we were going to get, like the pushback we were going to get, but
I didn't think, I'm not gonna hold y'all still surprise me.
Yeah.
I said
they always
one
do surprise.
thing the internet does.
You managed to be worse than we even expected.
Managed to be worse than we had ever thought. And y'all, and like I said, some of y'all, I'm creative, we creative. Some of y'all need to get in a writer's room and write the fan fiction that you come up with. I'm telling you, you are wasting your talents away, creating rumors about us and about other folks. You could be writing the next novels, the next fan fictions.
I agree.
And I really think you should follow that. Find a writer's retreat. But I mean it. I'll be reading the shit you know some of y'all say about me. Like, wow, how did they come up with that? Is good. I could see that on the screen.
This was a cash grab. Meanwhile, we pay out of pocket.
When I tell you, my bank account is like, bitch, this better go somewhere.
Right, because at this point,
the amount of money that I've spent every time I click pay now. But I think it also, wait, damn, what you was saying address.
Yeah, like the backlash. We got a lot of backlash.
And it was very surprising to the extent that it went. And I think it gave me an opportunity to be like, damn, what is it like dealing with a backlash, cancellation with visibility, but not just like my own visibility, but like the visibility with a partner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, how am I gonna say that? Basically, yeah, I'm gonna hold motherfuckers down that I know in real life. Like, it's a very like, ooh, y'all think that I'm gonna create something with somebody. Y'all think we're gonna create something with someone, people that we know in real life. It was a very tangible opportunity to be like, so what does community look like for you, Christina? And what does that look like? And branding versus like a relationship versus like humanizing. It was a very like, this is the shit I'm talking about. This is the shit that I want to address and also show folks. I think, at least personally, I think we talked about this, but it being like this podcast was a an opportunity to humanize us.
Yeah.
And we were also talking through the stuff. We're like, we don't know how we want to manage this. We're just noticing this and been on the receiving end and participated in it. And shocker, you're going to see that we're imperfect.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that we also
deeply flawed
get
people.
triggered.
Yeah.
And we have degrees.
Anxiety out the woo-ha.
And managing the anxiety or trying to or struggling to and you having terrible takes or having great takes or having takes that you just don't agree with and us standing 10 toes down or not standing 10 toes down or changing minds or you just don't have to like me.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that also was something that is like, I keep saying that I feel like folks on the internet, they'll say down with celebrity culture, but they also deify folks who are visible.
I'll be honest though, I think it's a little larger than you and me.
100%.
Yeah. And what I mean by that, when I say it specifically, is how, look at this last election cycle. This last election cycle was a hot mess.
Fucking mess.
For everybody left of Trump supporter. And I'm gonna keep it a bean. I know everybody wants to be sectioned off into these groups and subgroups and subcultures and genres of everybody left of that. But I'm speaking to predominantly everybody left of a Trump supporter. One of the major issues that we had is that nobody could get on one accord. And not only could nobody get on one accord, but the second that anyone spoke in any way, right?
Yep.
It could have been in favor of not voting one way because of what's happening across the globe. It could be speaking in favor of voting in one way to prevent what's happening now. It could be speaking in the middle in understanding and holding space and for the complexity of the situation. No matter what you said, everybody was antagonizing, attacking, belittling, berating, dehumanizing each other. And I think that this speaks to the larger culture that I would really hope that we can start to undo. It is so important. I know we talked about this, but it was the graphic of all of the social media platforms that are leaning towards conservatism and how they are so much larger, how corporate dollars back those creators so much.
Right.
It is so important that people like me, people like Christina, people like you listening to this, get in the field.
Yeah.
It is more like there's more than enough signs that point to the direction that we have to start speaking up and supporting one another. And what's really disappointing is when we talk about the backlash that we initially received, it is a reflection of a much larger problem to me where we are so quick to tear down anyone, even though those people align with us 90% of the time.
Right.
We are so quick to tear each other down despite the things that are at stake right now, that we cannot even get to the point where we are, frankly, able to compete with these conservative narratives that are literally ripping our societies apart.
And infiltrating.
Yeah.
Some of that shit is infiltrating into what y'all think you're doing. It's because it's being infiltrated. Like PSYOP for real. PSYOP Quantapro for fucking real. And I don't even think that was, because that graphic didn't come out when we had started the podcast, right?
No, I don't think so.
Right. So that wasn't even on our radar. But seeing it now and seeing how big the conservative spaces are and how many followers and how much large of a space they're taking up in the online world versus the ones that are considered left-leaning or more progressive is terrifying.
Yeah.
And I'm these are the spaces that, if we're talking about the online being a third space at this point, how are we showing up online to where we're perpetuating one or the other? Because it is what it is. This whole, it's beyond parties at this point, bro. It's beyond parties. What are we perpetuating online in this space where there's such visibility and such heightened visibility, right, of certain types of ideals? At what point is it becoming a moot point to just nitpick and attack someone who you said, again, 99% of the time or 90% or even 75% of the time, even maybe 50. Fuck the people who are on your side a lot of the time. How are you going to get the person that is 50% there and you need to bring them along? If you were going to sit and nitpick the other 50% that is terrible or that they need to work on, Like, what is the goal? Do you want to build community or ostracize? Because our groups are not big enough to ostracize. And the one thing that people know how to do is rally behind hate.
Yeah.
That is how they don't all like or love each other at all. They rally behind the hatred of other folks so much that they can push aside shit.
You won perfect. Oh my God. That is so spot on.
You ate, you alley-ooped me, you threw the log.
Can I just make a plea to the audience? Which camera is on right now? Is it this one? No, for real. Right now, we need each other more than anything else in the world. The beast that we are going up against, fascism, is not one that can be won alone. We need each other. That means even if we don't like each other, it's important that we support each other, that we uplift each other, because the people we are going up against have worse things in mind for us. We need to stick together. I don't care if I've said something that you've hated. I don't care if you think that I'm like not the best person in the world. What I want is for your liberation and for my liberation, and I want fascism to lose. We need each other, meaning we have to put the differences aside because the differences are not large at all.
They're not large in the
We
grand scheme.
need each other. I just have to make the plea at this point because it feels like that does not get through to these people, like what is at stake here. It is not just us, our lives, our freedoms. It's the freedoms of the people who come after us. I think of my nieces and nephews very often, like how they will have to like occupy and inhabit a world that is becoming what it's becoming.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, it's terrifying, the shit that's happening behind the scenes and in front of our faces. And I need people to learn how to work while not liking each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, you ain't never, we can say a lot about the Black family structure. We can. But everybody gonna show up at the cookout. And everybody gonna show up at the cookout with a plate. Everyone will be fed. I think we talk a lot about the toxicities of the Black family structure and Black, we ran it, to the ground, and I agree. And which means a continuation of, right? That doesn't mean a negation of. Ooh.
You ate that.
Yeah.
Continue, sister.
Right. Hello.
Lead the people.
Get my hat on.
Grand rising.
Grand rising queens.
Brothers.
Hello. Damn, what was I? Okay. Oh, yes. The structure of like outside of, supporting or ignoring the people that are causing active harm, the abuses, etc. I think we've been so afraid of that, and rightfully so, that the pendulum swings to where it's like any type of discomfort or disagreeing or sometimes, yes, a take that is problematic. We don't even know how to work through that because it's just turned into we got to throw into the garbage, and we just simply do not have enough people to throw everybody into the garbage.
Right.
And like, what does it look like to actually restore and repair relationships and restore and repair morality and ethics, and not just throw everybody that we disagree with or is showing that they're indoctrinated by the same system we all are. And my plea is, I want everyone to think about how they are indoctrinated. What problematic ass thing do you believe inherently, consciously or subconsciously? Because you got subconscious beliefs, because that is the way that we are wired. That's the way the system is wired to embed us with these things that we don't even realize we think or we realize we behave. What are the ways in which you are supporting the system subconsciously and indoctrinated? Yep. And how do you think that shows up in your life and everybody else? And do you think you're not deserving of community because that is happening inside of you?
Amen.
And how do you want to show up? And what work are you doing to unpack those biases that you may not even know exist, but everyone around you can pick up on those little subtle nuances, because that's the way that it works. And I think that reflection for myself is what changed and shifted, because I used to be a person that was very like, actually, it was multiple things. It was that, and also in being able to have certain conversations with my family, like namely my parents, and being able to know that, like, an example is the conversations my mother has been able to have about queerness with my baby siblings, who are like First, they were literally on my babies because one of them was calling me mama when it was. He just thought he had 3 moms. And I was like 12 and a half,
That's
13.
hilarious.
Like, girl, what? My name is Christina. Yeah. But both my siblings, one's in high school, the other's in middle school. The conversations that they've been able to have about queerness with my mom are vastly different than the ones I was able to have growing up. And
that's beautiful.
Being able to see, going from like a family that, like, we're talking about homosexuality is a sin, you're going to hell, blah, 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 really Christian folk, and having these arguments while I'm a kid crying to them. To be able to be in my 20s and get a call from my mom and hear the types of conversations she's having about queerness with my baby siblings.
What?
All of that.
You didn't throw your mother away?
But it showed me like, oh my God, all of those years, though it took years and though it took maybe to my own expense or whatever, made what that I put in quotes because,
I know, but because they can't hear the quotation.
Oh, that's true. In quotations. I'll start over. You're right. All the years that it took to have the conversations and the vulnerability I had to practice and show, it with no promise that it would really do or change anything, was tangible when my baby siblings could have a reality that I didn't have to have, right? Or that I didn't have the opportunity to have, and now they're having an experience that like showed growth. And looking at my mom, like being like, oh my God, I love this, and that really simple moment, right, was like, oh shit, that took a lot.
Can I speak to that too?
Yeah.
I'm the first person in my family like to come out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, girl, I'm a trailblazer.
You're the first to everything.
I know. I'm the first to go to college. I'm the first to come out. The first to move out of Baltimore. Like I've been doing a whole lot.
First to show whole. I'm sorry.
Oh well, depending on who you are. If you have my email or number, call me after this.
I'm crying.
But since I came out at 19, right? And that was really challenging. My coming out story is hilarious because I called my sister because I was like really nervous because I'm like, I've heard homophobic things in my family for like years. And I called my sister and was just like, hey, I'm gay. She was just like,
sorry, hey.
She got angry with me, but not for the reason you think. She said, this whole time I had a gay sibling and you robbed me of this. This feels unfair.
Real, to be quite honest with you.
And I was like, yeah, well, sorry about that. She was like, how are you going to tell everybody else? I was like, I don't want to. She was like, do you want me to call them? I was like, yeah, if you could, please. And she got on her phone tree and she called every single person in the family. And my mom called me immediately after and said that she loved me always and that she really didn't care. And then the most memorable call of the night was from my grandmother, though. She called me and she said, if anybody got a problem with you, you send them to me, I kick their ass. I said, Grandma, please. But shouts out to my grandma. Love you dearly. The point being, after I came out, like at 19, so afraid, my youngest nephew, like one of my nephews, he's 15 now, but he came out when he was like 13.
This one always asking for money?
All of them always asking for goddamn money because they all broke.
He said, matter of fact, I'm going to come out and I need $20.
No, but like he came out to me and like, but he's out. Like, so is my niece. And like, it's just like being able to take that first step and to like help people to grow. Like my family is in such a vastly different space regarding that than where they were before I came out. Like, and I think even like Consciously was on here last week. And I love that Consciously was talking about how he used to like perpetuate homophobia. And I don't love that hold on, let me be clear. I don't love that he used to perpetuate homophobia, but I love that he was honest about it because the reality is we all have problematic views that we have to grow from. And you don't grow from that with the thought or the idea that the moment you're vulnerable about having grown from them, you'll be thrown away. I saw a tweet, and you know I love SZA, the singer, not my cat. Well, the cat too. I do love my cat, SZA. But I do have a cat named SZA for those who don't know.
You
But
do.
the singer SZA, it's a tweet that came up where SZA had said, like, it's so many gay boys out here, I don't want to have a son. But this is like from over a decade ago. Like, this is before she was famous, SZA.
Yeah.
And there are so many people who were saying, like, oh, like, she's homophobic, she's did that and the third. One, find me a moment of time where SZA has not been around a butch queen. In the last couple. First off, because SZA loves the butch queen, but all of that aside,
SZA ain't gay.
she's SZA's queer. But like the point being though, she's apologized for that like long ago, years ago. And the fact that people like hyper fixate on things like that and cling to stuff like that, and we feel like we have to like constant, because I'm gonna get to this point next. But the fact that people feel like they have to cling to people's like biggest mistakes, and biggest fuck ups. I think of, and this is somebody I want on here for next season, right? I think of Malik McIntyre. I love Malik. Shouts out to Malik if you listening by chance. But Malik, they had tagged Malik up a while ago for being colorist. And I know this is like, I know how the people do, but the reality is he back in the olden days on Twitter when they used to do the like team light skin, team dark skin.
Oh my God. That was in real life too.
Yeah. They used to tag my sister up for that. But Malik, the second that stuff surfaced, and this was from when he was a kid, he was very open about it. He was apologetic. He's made it very clear like that those are just, at the time, he thought that was normalized. He has since grown from that, recognized that that's not reality. And I don't know, I feel like people who try to hold that over his head even, it's like,
still?
Yes, some people do. And I get it, right? This feeling that we have to protect ourselves. But this is my main point, right? Because this is where I think we divulge. There are two schools of thought. There is the school of thought that we need to unify, get on one accord, and go up against fascism together. And then there's the school of thought that is we need to close ranks. We need to exclude everybody who does not think like us. Or we need to exclude people who have any form of bigotry in their past. We need to exclude everybody except for us because it's just us. And to go up against cult-like thinking, because I'll be honest, fascism is cult-like thinking. And I don't think people understand, and this is the more scary part, is like these people don't recognize that is cultish thinking. You cannot. We have to see the humanity in everybody, and seeing humanity in other people is having the capability of seeing that people are flawed.
Well, I would also venture to say that the fact that people are struggling to do that is proof of an indoctrination within a system that is teaching us not to see humanity in ourselves, let alone anybody else.
My God. You just spat that like that was nothing. Jesus.
Right. Download.
Okay, say that one more time for the people.
I might have said it too fast. I said I think the struggle to be able to see humanity in other folks is just further proof of being indoctrinated within a system that teaches us to barely see the humanity in ourselves, let alone other folks.
Jesus.
So when we take the moral and the ethics of things, right, and this is a moral thought, an ethical thought, right? And it is. They often are. The practice of that I'm seeing still is from what this white supremacy is doing, to where we're not seeing the humanity of it. You can have a great moral, ethic, thought, and belief, but if you're not actually putting the practice into seeing humanity in folks who, yes, also make mistakes or, have caused harm, then you're still taking the indoctrination. You're not fully outside of it, which is also okay.
Jeez.
But do the work either way, and understand you still have to do the work. This is gonna be a really hot, spicy take.
Oh, I'm scared.
I know. It's gonna be a really hot, spicy take. Okay.
Go ahead.
Buckle up, everybody. You know how.
The preface. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, because it's been something I've been thinking about a little bit recently. How everyone, whenever we see on the more extreme end, it'll be white influencers, white folks, white celebrities, and they have like a racist pass or racist tweet. And then people will be like, everyone had the racist stage. And folks are like, right. And they're like, actually, no, I don't think so. My hot take is, I don't think that is 100% wrong, because I think racism is embedded in all of us. Now, whether or not
I agree.
And now whether or not that is acted upon, different.
Yeah.
Different. The type of harm that is caused, different.
Yeah.
I also think, and I'm saying that because it's not unique to racism, I think it's easy when we obviously are a part of, like, you know, racial groups that deal with racism, right? But if I'm calling in my community, a lot of people are having homophobic stages. A lot of folks are having the colorist stages. Yeah. A lot of folks are having the people in transphobic stages now. Y'all not even trying to move.
Christina.
Am I wrong?
Some of y'all are in it now.
Some of you are in the misogynistic stage now. Some of you in the anti-black stage now. Some of you in it. Some of you opening up on the stage. You're not even on Broadway. Been on Broadway for 20 years.
Oh my God,
so it's like,
Jesus.
I'm just like, it's easy. That's so crazy. Yo, my God, I can't believe that person said the N-word. And then you over here still saying the F-word.
No. No, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about trans women can't play sport. Trans women ain't real women. But oh my God, I can't believe somebody was racist. Girl, what you mean? You in the same pool.
Hello?
So I think when people say that, you know, and let me round it out. My concluding thought.
That was good.
Is I think when people are like, oh my God, that's crazy to say that everyone has a stage. They say it to absolve themselves, to be like, oh my gosh, no, I didn't do anything wrong. This was just normal. Instead of being accountable and holding themselves accountable to it. But the blanket objectivity of everyone having those types of stages, I think, is something that is an uncomfortable truth and a discomfort to face within ourselves about what were those moments that I had where I perpetuated some shit that I shouldn't have.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Or I don't know if we're going to cut this part out or not.
Wouldn't say it. We'll see.
I'm going to say it. And if Christina says cut it out, we're going to cut it out. But because I feel like this is something that I know people have a tendency to try and like warp things that I say to make it something that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So let me be clear when I say this. I did not play Captain Save 'em. In fact, I refuse to play Captain Save 'em. But do you remember Brooke Schofield? That's the one who has said the stuff about George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin.
It's coming back.
She was on a podcast. Don't Cancel Me, actually.
Oh wow, she was on a podcast. What'd she say?
She has said something. She was like 13 or something.
Oh my God.
Or in high school, and she was talking about George Floyd, and we had that really big conversation on TikTok around like whether or not it was like a racism stage, speaking on what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Brooke Schofield had actually came to me because I made a video and was saying, like, you know, I remember when Trayvon Martin died, killed.
Yeah.
And I remember being around the same age as Trayvon Martin. I remember how afraid I was at that time. Like, it wasn't just a phase.
Yeah.
And paraphrasing here, it was actually something that tangibly harmed people like me, because I remember how mortified I was.
I remember this video of yours.
Yeah. But she came to me, and I had said in the video, like, just apologizing isn't enough. I need to see some coin. And she came to me directly and asked me, like, what can I do? And I told her, girl, you need to open your purse. And she donated money.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. She to the Trayvon Martin Foundation.
She sent you a receipt?
No, but I know she did it though, because she was scrambling at the time. I ain't gonna hold you, but she did. She donated some coin. I told her, you need to open your purse. Open your purse.
Oh, I'm glad she opened her purse.
That was the extent of that though. Like, nothing else happened outside of me saying, like, yeah, not only do you need to apologize, you need to like give financially.
Yeah.
But you know, I told her, do not mention me though, because I know how people get, like, when they're like, you know, that the black Superman holding the white. That is not me.
I don't know if I consider that holding.
I know, but you know how people are with me. Like, they will take like the smallest thing.
I thought it was gonna be a little.
No. It was nothing like that. I definitely was not absolving her of anything.
Oh, so what's the problem? You said you need
know
to.
how people do.
I know.
Yeah, but that was the extent of it. I made her give. Not I didn't make her because she did it to her own volition. But she asked me for a suggestion, and I suggested to her. Also with the advice of one of my black lady friends, because I was like, I'm not going to talk to you.
But the thing is, sorry to cut you off, but that's what we say to do. People say that publicly.
I know, but that people will say they want something like an apology, but you know when you don't perform your apology to their individual liking,
right?
Like they will always have a problem.
Maybe in that scenario, someone would be like, "Well, you should have blasted her for even talking to you in private," and it's like, well, I could blast someone in private, or this person could donate to the fund of someone that they named and harmed in what they said. And look, and now I don't have to talk about that.
And it still doesn't absolve that because
because some of these is crazy.
Yeah. She was wild.
Girl, you
absolving isn't. I don't think it's the goal because I've done things in the past and said things in the past that I know have hurt people. Nothing that egregious. I'll be honest with you.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like nothing anywhere near as egregious as what she said. And it's no shade, but like I understand, right? Like when people who come from communities and subgroups who feel the need to close ranks, I get it.
Yeah.
Right? To keep themselves safe. Like I understand, like when I said there are people who are still upset. Mind you, I'm gonna reiterate this until I'm blue in the face. I said it to a person who was thin, but like I call him Big Back. And I say that to explain what happened, not because I use the phrase anymore, but I said that and they made me like a public example of why that word is so horrible. Yeah. And it is. And there are people who literally will not let that go and call me fat phobic to this day. And I don't want to.
You stopped using it.
I did, but I don't want to be absolved. Like my goal when I apologized was not to be absolved. It was to acknowledge like, oh, this is a harmful thing to say. Mm-hmm. I did not know that fully at the time, but like I knew it after. There's also this thing where certain people are held to a higher standard, but we'll put a pin in that.
We talked about that earlier in another episode.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the example, the person is the perfect example for this thing that has been like normalized. Yeah, absolutely. Because that was similarly with I don't want to say the word, but the lyric that was in I think Lizzo's and Beyonce's song.
Oh yeah. We're just reiterating what was said, but the word spaz, for example.
You know.
Yeah.
That's a good example of.
You know, one of my friends the other day said we were on the phone, and oh my God, I hate to even say the word, y'all. This is gonna. I promise, I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, but the friend was saying like, "Oh yeah, I feel like this company gypped me." And I was whoa, we don't say that word. Like, because if you're not familiar, that word is like something that's harmful to the Romani people who were subject to a genocide. So we don't, like the word gypsy and gyp, like these are derogatory terms meant to dehumanize a specific group of people. Everybody isn't aware. Do you know what I did? I just told the friend, like, this is why we don't say that. And they were like, oh, okay. And we moved on.
You know what's so crazy about that word though is there's a whole play musical that I saw and so good called Gypsy.
Yeah, I don't know if the word itself is bad if it's not used in a derogatory way like gypping someone.
Oh, maybe I don't know that either.
But actually. I don't know, so don't quote me.
Well, I don't know either, and we're gonna end it there.
Yeah.
And y'all can Google it as you pause this episode.
Do you remember the Kendrick Lamar situation when Kendrick Lamar had in his song said the word Eskimo? And people were so upset with me. Oh my God, to the point where Myron from Fresh and Fit, I hope one day cross paths with you, brother, so we can have a private conversation in a room in which there are no others, where I can knock you up against every wall. But sorry. People were so upset because I said, yeah, Kendrick probably didn't know that word is considered a slur. And I mean, like, just like, don't say it if like you can't move in forward. Like, it's not that.
You don't know?
Just like
you know everything.
People were literally like, he probably didn't know. I was like, yeah, that's why I said it in the video, you fucking dickhead. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I just didn't yell at the person for not knowing.
Not anywhere in the song did it come across as like malicious. Like most people that I've seen who even said anything, like the native people or the Inuit people, they were like, yeah, no, like just like don't say that. Like nobody was being hot and heavy except for the people who were trying to quote unquote defend Kendrick, even though I don't think Kendrick did anything wrong. I think he probably just didn't know.
And that's what growth looks like.
Yeah.
That's literally what growth looks like. Being able to be like, oh damn, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. And let's bring it back to another thing. The shame of not knowing and being ignorant, I think, is doing us a huge disservice to actually change. Because it's like people are way more concerned with posturing as someone who knows everything and someone who isn't ignorant than they are more concerned with actually changing said behavior or thought process and being able to come out and be like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, actually. Is really powerful and helpful and vulnerable and honest. And why can't we I'm challenging myself. We just did that example right now. Where we were talking about something, we said, I don't know.
I don't know.
And it's so powerful to say you don't know some shit.
I do have a thing to say, like, because I think also with that is, like, sometimes y'all are overly confident in what you think you know.
Ooh!
And I'm going to bring up the example, and I know you're going to be like, bitch, no. But I'm going to talk about it. I was accused of being a victim blamer. Because I had highlighted, I'm just gonna say it. I had highlighted that someone who came forward with a situation where they would have potentially been manipulated into sex with someone. Mm-hmm. I had highlighted that this person was on an app, Raya, which is a dating app for people who are considered social elites. Mm-hmm. No matter how you want to slice it, that's what the app is for. This person was on there and I said, why were you on Raya? Like, this seems incongruent with your politics. And as someone who has been very rigid with other people, who have made other people feel
rigid, nasty.
Very nasty, I'll be honest.
Very verbally nasty. Like, very nasty and rude and disrespectful.
Like saying, go fuck yourself to Black women. Like, I mean, so many things. Saying that Kamala Harris, because she, like, didn't like look upset when she conceded, like was not upset enough at fascism, like, you know, stuff like that, like just being so rigid and unwavering and like that rigidity towards saying that they hate Jewish people. No shade.
They did say that. Yep.
Because of what's happening like in Palestine, like saying stuff like that directly. Yeah. Like when I say like pointing out, like you too have like things that are incongruent in your politics. You have contradictions in your politics like every single other person on this planet. Mm-hmm. And like having things that are contradictory in your politics does not make you someone like that is like undeserving of what like humanity. Like that is not the same thing as victim blaming. Like so many people were confidently calling me a victim blamer. When the reality is victim blaming is when you tell someone that they're responsible for what happened to them. They were like, would you ask a woman why she had on what she had on? No, because I don't victim blame. I didn't say you were on Raya, therefore this happened to you. No. I said, and it was an aside, like, but it's like, why are you on Raya? Like, you are someone who's so rigid towards other people, yet you have these contradictions in your politics, and you don't understand.
And the main important critical thinking aspect after that is that it really isn't about the details. It's about how one shows up in a space to position themselves and posture themselves as the all-knowing, as the morally correct as the person that is elevated because of being better than. And then, oh, look, would you look at that? Exactly. We're all human. Oh, would you look at that? There's a scenario.
So many excuses for why they were on there. And then they were like, but you're on Raya too. It's like, well, I haven't been on there in years. But it's like, well, yes, the point is we all hold contradictions. Are you listening,
and like,
dickhead?
What does it look like if you're telling Black women, go fuck yourself, you're terrible, you're a genocide denier, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And then you fucking a Black woman who's eugenicist. And you know, so...
Sorry.
But be fucking for real.
But
be
then
fucking for real.
Excuses
we're all hypocritical. I don't want to harp too long.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they made a video about me.
I'm
pretty sure
at this point.
But like when
this will be the last and only response.
The election. Yeah. I think it would behoove everyone if they thought about the ways and that's just maybe because I'm a messy Scorpio. The amount of times I've been sitting in a room, the amount of times on this podcast, in general, the amount of times I wanted to make a video asking folks, I think everyone right now should say a problematic thought that they have.
Everybody going around in a circle.
Everyone go around in a circle and tell me a problematic take you got. I want an ism and a phobia that everyone got one sentence, maybe two, or everyone go around the room and tell me something that is incongruent, hypocritical about themselves when it comes to,
I don't like furries. Sorry, I actually do like furries as people, but like the concept.
Is that problematic?
Probably. Y'all want to have intercourse with animals. Animals can't consent. That bothers me.
I thought they just wanted to dress. Sorry.
It's one step away from bestiality in my mind.
I mean, maybe is the practice of it not being. Oh, that's crazy. I don't know. Maybe,
well, you know what? I take that back, furries. I take it back. Because y'all do be on the right side of history a lot. I'm so sorry.
You know they do. You know what I'm
Auntie
saying?
ain't mean that.
They be coming to protest full up in the garb.
Exactly. Auntie ain't mean that.
Maybe we just have some questions.
I do have questions.
I think I got questions.
I think some of y'all might be a little suspect, but most of y'all are cool. I'm so sorry, y'all. Auntie ain't mean that.
I didn't know you knew a lot of furries like this. You know furries?
No.
You're not even. See,
look at me.
You're not even in community.
Bias. I'm so sorry,
you
y'all.
Just say you saw a fur claw and said enough is enough.
I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Yeah, you know them costumes be a lot of money.
Yeah, they do.
They be spending, and furries be spending money. I kind of like. I mean, I love a commitment.
Kevin Gates' daughter is a furry.
What?
Yeah, you didn't see the video when he was with her in costume, and he supports her too.
Why was he there? What were they doing?
He was being a supportive dad.
What was she? Was it that she was just
dressing up like in her furry costume
at an event or at home?
No, just at home.
Oh,
he's a supportive dad.
Wow,
he terrifies me, but he's a supportive dad.
He
Kevin
Gates is scary.
Bit. Jesus,
just a little bit.
You know that video where he was like, "You said I'm gay. Well, how about you bend over there?" He scared me. That man terrifies me.
Oh my God.
But I respect him.
Gotta respect that.
Yeah.
Damn, I keep hitting this mic. What was I gonna say before go around and say a problematic thought? I was gonna do that. No, because watch, they gonna cancel. No, fuck it. I was gonna say I still use Amazon. Hate corporations.
Girl, who don't?
Had to prime some shit the other day.
That's what I mean, though. It's
but it be shit like that. It's like,
relax, y'all. Like,
find the hypocrisy in yourselves. Find the humor in that. Find a little bit. Find something. Find it. Find whatever it is, because I think people are struggling to find and search. It's real bird boxy out here. I
promise my beef is with the fascist who is throwing up Yahtzee salutes and not
talking about that's his autism.
Right. Not you for using Amazon Prime. I promise.
You know what I'm saying?
My priorities are elsewhere.
You know what I'm saying? But I would strike, if I would help. I would donate to a fund.
Child.
If they needed to build bathrooms and there was a GoFundMe, I said I'll donate.
It's really sad though that, and again, coming back to this concept of like moral absolutism, where we feel like if you're not morally pure, then you are worth being thrown away. And it's just a mistake that I see us make so often. And again, I say this as someone who's participated in this, who has had to learn the hard way. And unfortunately, I learned a lot of my lessons the hard way. But I learned it the hard way. Being on the receiving end of it makes it so clear, like, how dehumanizing it is. Because I've had, because it's like, bro, I've had people take my life's work. I have been community organizing since I was a teenager in high school. Like, literally helped to co-found community
Google them.
Please. I helped to co-found community organizations in high school as early as sophomore year in high school. Yet, and I mean, I've helped and worked with hundreds of children, hundreds. I have cleaned streets. I've clothed people. I've housed people. I've pointed people to resources. I crowdfund regularly. I've done so much to help my community. Every community that I'm in, I try to be a part of. Even in Brooklyn, where I'm not from, I just was on a panel for an organization and donated to an organization because they tried to pay me to be on the panel. I donated my funds. And I say that to say, bro, I've had people take my whole life's work and push that to the side as if that
Mhm.
does not mean anything and say, well, they said this one thing I don't like, therefore they are disposable. That's fucking wild to me.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
understand
insane.
it.
And also,
And I've
maybe
seen it happen to so many other people too.
maybe they could be disposable to you.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't like them. That's another thing I'm really leaning into is the people I don't like, I don't have to, and they can have community elsewhere.
Yeah.
They can have community elsewhere. I fell out with somebody, right? And one time they were like, well, meeting people in my community said that I'm fine and everything that I'm doing is all right, da-da-da. And I said,
Do I know this person? God, I'm
and
getting ready.
you didn't have to ask that question, but you did. I was going to let it rock. But anyways,
never mind.
I was going to let it rock. But yeah, they were, me, everyone in my community is telling me that I'm doing this right and I did right. And I'm like, well, and have your community and I'll have mine.
Yeah.
Like, that's also okay. Like, there can be our communities can overlap. We can maybe still be around each other, orbit each other, but like, I'm happy for folks to have their community outside of me and find folks that can work for them, and I can find folks that work for me. I'm not going to be your cup of tea. People won't be your cup of tea. You won't be my cup of tea. But I don't think in the grand scheme that's like we think everybody who we don't mesh with or everyone who we might have conflict with or fall out with or don't like or have harmed, right? They don't deserve community in general. And I'm and as a Scorpio, I be feeling that hard. I've had to work on that. But I'm like, you can have community away from me, or we can be part of a larger communal collective. And if you're elevating and being better, and I wasn't a part of that process, that's okay. I also think some of that is ego. I think some of us want to be the person that is elevating with everyone and da-da-da-da. And then if that doesn't work, they're the problem. They're wrong.
You know who says this? Han be saying,
Ooh, really?
Han says, you think you Katniss Everdeen, and most of y'all are Effie Trinket.
Ooh.
You are not Katniss Everdeen, sweetie. Let it go.
Uh-oh.
Like and here's the thing, but that also lies, that ego thing that you're talking about. And this is what gets me and trips me up, because once you, as a therapist, like, you really like embody and you learn this deep in your bones, when people are like, oh, my biggest revenge is gonna be me not talking to you anymore. That person is at home eating Cheerios, watching Sunday morning cartoons, kicking their feet up and giggling. They do not care that you are not in their life. And I don't mean that to say like that you're like you don't hold value. It's to say like you're not the center of everybody's universe. No. And sometimes people just don't like each other or fall out or they don't work out, and people continue to live and they move on. And that is not a reflection of your worth or value. And the quicker you can learn that that doesn't make you any less valuable, the sooner you can stop rooting who you are and like how perceived you are, how liked you are, how missed you are, and things like that. Like, you are just a human being. Absolutely. And that is enough.
Absolutely.
It takes a while.
I also want to say, for the folks, maybe a somewhat of a pivot, but for the folks who have been really supportive of what we're trying to do on this podcast, like, so many thanks. And like gratitude in receiving that. And even for the folks who feel comfortable enough to have a critique and have a critique respectfully, or folks who are like voicing and naming like, oh, I don't really know about this, like, I don't know about that, and being able to challenge the stuff that maybe we have talked about, or whether it's in the comments or whether I've seen it times. And the dialogues that like I've been able to see happen from folks who are listening, who are like part of the culture or who just come across the videos. I think that's also something that an environment we wanted to foster, where it's like, it's not a focus on always agreeing. And I really appreciate being able to see that like play out in spaces that we are trying to create. Like, sans folks who aren't even listening and just want to critique, right? Yeah. I appreciate the people that are fully like supporting, and also in the process not deifying us and not dehumanizing, because it's very dehumanizing also to be put on a pedestal. To be like, no, like, I rock with y'all. And then this is my experience. I have this thought, or I can see what you're saying. Or like,
my favorite people are the people who are like, Yeah, like I don't agree with everything you say, but I like you. Like, cause it's like,
Right.
oh my
Thank
God,
you.
like that is the most human thing ever. Because I don't agree with 100% of anybody I know.
At all.
Like with the exception of maybe 1.5 people, but like
Yeah.
it's just like for the most part, it's like we should be not thinking the same thing. We come from different perspectives.
And I'm gonna be skeptical. I'm gonna be like,
yeah,
you trying to,
Do you know how many times Christina looked at me and said, "That's a choice."
Like that with the eyes.
Yes,
I
the
don't
eyes and
realize
everything.
my eyes do that. I really don't until there's video evidence. And the one thing this podcast has shown is the video evidence of my Scorpio eye.
The one in the intro where
I can't believe he put that in there.
I'm happy that he caught it.
I said, now Josh,
that is who you are.
I cannot, and it is
I accept it, and
a sharp. But you know what's sick about that? And then you're, because Shahem chaos. Let me tell you something about Shahem. Shahem, one of the quirks that is so fucking fun. It's gotta be all them damn mutable placements. It's the
yeah. Sorry.
In the midst of being like, if there is some tears, some drama, it'll be, or you say something that's like, ooh, I know this is gonna like rile up folks up. You, I swear, feel butterflies in your body when it happens. No. I swear, because you go.
Do you know what I imagine? I imagine myself being contained in this giant filter, and it's the Sag rising in the Aries Mars. Like the second something goes down, that filter just like it flashes to it dissolves.
You have so much fun.
Yeah,
you have so much fun, and then
I can't help
the
it.
Taurus is like, no.
Yeah, the Taurus in me is always like, bitch. What are we doing?
He said, oh, it's messy. What's happening? Yeah. Especially when it got nothing to do with you. You say what? But then what's fucked up is it will have nothing to do with you.
Then we'll make it about
Then you'll
me.
you'll say something everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
And then the moment you say it, all of a sudden it's about you. And I'm like, that is so
I'll
crazy.
be honest. I've been thinking about that a lot. And this is an aside, but I recognize as a person, I feel like a lot of people view me in a different light. And I'm in such a, I've said it before, but I'm in such a precarious position because people think that I'm too uppity. And they think I'm uppity because I have an education and they know that I have an education. And I'm not shy about talking about my education.
So wild.
I know it is what it is. However, like that's why when I don't know things and I say, oh yeah, I didn't know that, like they don't believe me because they're like, you should have known better. And it's like, why? Like everybody doesn't know everything. And my education is in a specific field. Whatever. Also, I am Black. There's always that. But I'm
light
Black.
Skin, but
yeah, like I'm on the lighter side. But that's a joke. Don't start attacking me. I'm not light skinned Keisha, but no shade to light skinned Keisha, but like I'm also gay. I've been really like living in that specific part of my identity too, because I know that like because I'm a male and because I'm gay, but I'm a Black male one because Black men are treated specifically in our community, the Black community. Like, I'm not going to say they're the most respected people on the planet, but they have a certain regard in our community and a certain empathy that they're held with.
Right.
However, when you are Black, male, and gay, like there is a certain like kind of vitriol directed towards you unless you can be a prop, which I'm clearly nobody's fucking prop. And I think they do not like that at all, unless you're entertainment. And I'm not here to be like, I'm not your circus monkey. I will not dance when you say dance. And unless you grovel at people's feet, and I don't do that either. I refuse to perform. And I think that puts me in a position where so many people are constantly trying to humble me. And frankly, they think that like a lot of people don't think I deserve to be where I'm at. And you know how I know that to be true? Do you know one person that I see get so much vitriol and backlash despite the things that they're doing? Like, I'm not going to say they never did anything wrong because I can't get into the extent or know everything that somebody's done. But Lil Nas X, like Lil Nas X is so, like, they jump on that boy nonstop. And I think I brought it up on this podcast before, but it's just like so unnecessary. But it's because like you can use the guise of like, oh yeah, I just hate men. You can use the guise of like, but that's basically what it boils down to. Like you can use the guise of I hate men, you know that we are subject to homophobia, but you don't have to give too much of a fuck about that. And most people who aren't like gay or queer don't give too much of a fuck about that. And it just puts me in this position again where I know like my identity, my personhood is going to be highly contested. It is so easy for people, and I'm not saying this to make myself a victim because I'm not a perfect person, but I know it makes it easier for people to dispose of me, which is why people jump so quickly whenever there's any reason to have a problem with me, to co-sign it and to have issue. But it's not just me. I've seen it with so many other Black gays, and it's like when you don't like this is such a like I guess hot like it's so like saying this is like going to be contested, I know, because at the end of the day, Black gay men are very much so capable and often do perpetuate misogyny. But a lot of people use that as a guise for their homophobia.
It's ping ponging back and forth.
Exactly.
I think it's actually really interesting to like think about, because I think because of like homophobia and all of that encapsulates like toxic masculinity, etc., etc. I think there's a way like Black gay men receiving so much more vitriol, to me, or Black gay masks, right? Operate almost as like a proxy for this shit that people want to say to cis heterosexual Black men. But feel either like they can't out of due to like danger, safety, and just like the fear that might come from that, right? So then it's like there's a proxy here that is close, right? And I can be a little more vitriolic towards this person because internalized like or indoctrinated homophobia is telling me I can be. And just this whole kind of like the specific caricature that you were talking about of being a Black gay Black gay man is like, unless I'm a prop, unless I'm a this, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm not I don't show up in that way. Like,
right. So I think there's something to be said about that. I do. It's something I've been thinking about a lot also.
And I'm not light skinned, no shade. Like I'm actually not light skinned
at all.
And they don't factor that
the colorism in it.
They don't factor that in. And I will be honest, and this is something
they tried to strip it away when you do try to factor it. Now all of a sudden you're not.
That was just nonsense. But the reality is, and this is just the reality. I noticed that like my lighter skinned Black gay counterparts are treated vastly different. And this is no shade because I love all of the girls. Like, but Davy, for example, if you know Davy, Davy, shouts out to Davy. No shade at all. But like Davy has a face tattoo. Pretty much all of the gays I know like have face tattoos. But when I got a face tattoo, they were asking if I was manic. Mind you, I have tattoos all over my body, and I've been talking about wanting a face tattoo for years. But people were questioning my sanity, and I don't know, like the whole nine. And it's just like the difference with how y'all view some of us is, and again, it's nobody's fault, like the complexion they're born or any shit like that. Like, and I don't think it's always conscious, but I do note that there's a different treatment. And
it's hard to define, like, say, and this is the definition of how it is. I think that's also important. Like, it's someone's experience to be able to like, people don't gotta prove it to you, especially if it's not something that like you can. If you're not a dark skinned gay Black man, wow, that's like Viola Davis quote. Black, bisexual, angry. If you do right, then it's like just listen and be like, like I don't really have that experience, or be like, maybe I can figure out what it is that people are there talking about, because I have my own versions of that where it's like, oh, this is a very nuanced. There's a very nuanced like thing here, and it really, it makes me so sad and upset when I see like particularly Black women and like Black queer men, Black queer masks, cis heterosexual Black women specifically, also queer Black women, like kind of go at it, because I think that the misogynoir, and the homophobia be ping ponging back and forth, and I'm like, yo, there's actually like, why are we not being more gracious with each other?
What?
I'm
so sorry. because people accuse me of hating Black women a lot, which is to me the weirdest shit anybody can say about me. But I say that because, like, as someone who is actually genuinely in community with a lot of Black women, like, I have best friends who are Black women, like, and that's not
That's
my
crazy.
best friends are Black.
That's crazy.
No, but like literally,
and they're gonna be like, clip it.
No, but like it's so weird because I've also had people when I said that before, like be like, you sound like one of those white people who say you have Black best friends. It's like my mom, sisters, cousins, like friends, like community
Delusion.
members, coworkers, like you name it. Clients are all Black women. Like why?
I don't even think it's necessary to say.
Like
if
it's
they
not the
see
same
it,
thing.
it's not, and they know it. People are just being
I know,
ridiculous.
But I want to like highlight though, like the misogyny from Black gay men. It's a real thing. Like I have seen it. I'm not like we talked about
Absolutely.
the indoctrination. I am sure like some of the behaviors I exhibit are more than aligned with misogyny, but I have worked over many years like and not just on some internet shit. Like I actually care a lot about gender-based stuff.
Yeah. No, this is me.
I'm like, I got some
I'm scratching. I have an itch.
No, but like I literally I know people get mad when I talk about my degrees for some reason, but I have
For some reason.
I know they hate that I have an
gender
education
studies degree.
I have a women and gender studies degree. I did not like this is long before I had like a huge platform on social media or some shit. But like I was genuinely intrigued because one, I'm genderqueer, but like two, like let me take that back because that's going to be illegal soon.
Oh my God! Stop!
Don't throw me in a camp, please. I'm gonna be thrown in there anyway.
Oh my God! Don't say that out loud.
Well, don't.
That will not happen. That
FBI.
will not happen. Oh, I'm just saying, don't put that in the universe. That's not gonna happen. But it's looking like they trying to round up a lot of folks actually. But anyways,
what I will say is, like. I am someone who genuinely has been in community with Black women my whole life because, I mean, obviously I grew up around, I have 9 sisters, like, girl, but, but like, the whole point being, like, while I get the again, that, like, that knee-jerk reaction to close ranks and to do all of that, like to protect yourself, your circle, I do think it's, like, sometimes a little confusing because like even like in attempts to get me ousted from my job, the overwhelming majority of my clients are Black women who I provide trauma therapy to.
That's nuts.
Like I just don't be getting it because frankly, they are like, you're always arguing with Black women. First off, everybody who knows me knows I'll argue with anybody. Christina can tell you that first and foremost.
That's the problem.
I'm working on it, but I will argue with a guy. I told y'all I will argue with a toddler if the toddler get too smart. I don't care.
Shahem would argue with somebody in a casket.
I would.
Shahem would argue.
They would have to get smart with me first, though.
In the casket?
Yeah. If I feel like they mean mugging me, that's another thing. I'm from the hood, y'all. I'm sorry. Sometimes I do have hood men. I don't say that as a joke, like, but I'm really trying to not undo, but I'm trying to unlearn a lot of the hood mentality that I was raised on. And like my father was very much one of those people who like was like, if you don't beat their ass, I'm gonna beat your ass. And like I had to get it out. I used to have to get in the field very young. I say that to say like I'm trying to unlearn certain aspects of how I show up.
Yeah.
And that's why I get triggered sometimes and I'm so defensive and I'm ready to squabble up. And I'm like all of that is a result of where I'm from. And I know a lot of people don't have a lot of grace or patience for me, but that is just the truth of what I come with.
Yeah.
I'm literally trying to unlearn these things and it's not easy. But yeah, I don't have smoke for Black women. I just happen to be in community with Black women, which is why you will see me going back and forth with Black women.
It's like a Black on Black crime thing.
Because I'm in community with y'all.
It's like Black and Black crime. It's like Black.
Why
are
you always talking about Black women? Who do you think I'm around 90% of the time?
I think it's just the whole, and who I'm in proximity with is going to be people that I love and have conflict with.
Exactly.
Like, and that is something that can feel uncomfortable.
And I do be arguing with straight men too, because I do not.
I will say,
I will pull up on them too. Like those are the people who I will actually say.
I mean,
where
Shahem has swung on my behalf on a man. And that was our first time we ever met. And I need that.
You don't gotta add that part because that makes it seem like I'm a little unhinged.
Well, no, the person was harassing me.
Well, yes.
And assaulting me 7 times to my count. So the swings was necessary. But I'm just saying that to say where I was like, hey, man, no, like, yeah, swing for me. Because it is like, and like having someone that is like, I have tangible proof and evidence of being like protected is very important to me, to where it's like, that doesn't really shake. That is a foundation of my relationship with you, where there was a moment where, you know what I'm saying? It particularly, I think also, I didn't say this, but that was 6 months after I had just gotten out of my abusive relationship, where that man put his hands on me. So
He put his hands on you?
Yeah, that's how, yeah.
I did not know that he...
Yeah, in front of a friend of mine when we were traveling in France. That the last time I saw him was my friend getting me out of the apartment.
Girl, I did not know that.
Yeah, that was within 6 months.
Oh my God.
So like, I was taking count of a lot of the relationships I had with like people bigger than me. And he wasn't even big and he was scrawny ass nigga. Anyways, sorry.
Girl, no.
But like,
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm on there.
And he'll get his.
My team be like, Shahem, stop threatening people. I'm
He'll
sorry.
Get his. But like, I was taking stock of like the relationships, the relationship I had with men in my life, the relationship I had with mask presenting folks in my life, with just like in general. So like that happening within, and that was just on top of me already having sexual assault. So being around new people that I had met and I'm getting harassed and assaulted, and you immediately now did them were the swings windmilling. I have to duck? Yes. However,
I'm sorry. I was really mad.
Intention. That was a moment where intention mattered over impact. Whether or not I had the impact.
Y'all hold me back from like, why y'all hold me back from a nigga who harassing you?
He was running because you wasn't hitting the nigga no more. It was everybody else.
Sorry, I was trying to get to the Sorry.
He had ran.
I was really mad at that point because like
And
one thing about it though, and this is just the reality. As somebody who grew up with a lot of sisters, I do not play about the women in my life.
Right.
I don't.
So I'm like, for me, that is a foundational. When people are like, "Oh, you're gonna stay." Well, yes.
Yeah, but that's another thing. They don't know me, and I have to accept that too. They genuinely don't know who I am. In fact, a lot of you talk about it a lot actually, which I really appreciate. Like, the good and the bad. Like, sometimes people put me on this pedestal that I just will never be able to live up to because it's just not a reflection.
Want to.
I don't.
I'm definitely interested. I will say, if anybody, the uppity allegations really get me, because if anybody needs proof that Shahem is anything but uppity, I have a FaceTime photo of Shahem making jungle juice in their car before a family gathering in Baltimore.
Well,
and if you want that photo evidence, you can hit my line at.
If you want my recipe,
I swear I have it.
It's good juice, y'all.
I'm gonna have to overlay this image, but I said this is ghetto. Juice. Oh, this is ghetto. It is good juice. Where are the degrees?
I don't know. And look, I be telling people, I told somebody the other day, like, yeah, I'm a hood booger, and they were like, "You're not a hood booger." I was like, okay, I mean, sure, but like, getting a fucking education, child, you would think that they be thinking
that says more about them than it says more about.
I know, but they gonna make it about me either way.
It's like when people think that I didn't grow up around black. People think I'm a suburb girl, like, and it's
the way you make them collard greens. Ain't no way.
It is.
You got somebody, with the auntie arm. You got somebody with the auntie arm.
It's my grandma.
Because it just don't make sense.
It's my grandma.
There's some Southern up in that family.
I always say I'm from Long Beach. And I
don't know nothing about the LA culture.
Long Beach is not LA. That's first thing. East. Long Beach and LA are not the same spots. I went to Poly. Snoop Dogg got kicked out of Poly because this is the. If anyone even just knew anything about the West Coast, they would know.
First off, Christina Brown, nothing but niggas.
Absolutely.
But same here. Like, and that's the thing
They
that get
they
me.
really think they'll be like, you have no black friends. I'm like, what
All of our
are
friends are
you
black.
talking about? You can't see me.
And it's no shade. Like,
It's a little shade for me.
oh, I have one non-black friend. Two.
I was thinking white. But yeah, non-black,
I have
non-black
a
for
white
sure.
friend, a
Non-black for
singular
sure.
white friend.
And white folks can be, but
You
like,
know, I might have. I don't know. Shoot.
anyways,
Make yourselves known if you're a Caucasian and we
point
friends.
is, it cracks me up when didn't grow up around black people. I'm like, that's literally all.
Girl,
That, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it is shocking. It is shocking that hood adjacent my entire life.
What gets me is like, oh, like y'all weren't comfortable with your blackness until da 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 da. It's like, do you know? First off, y'all need to. They take the goalpost of blackness and move it so much. It's kind of hilarious. But I want to talk about something else though. Okay.
What?
Because this is actually, I think, important for season 2. This is going to be another plea. If you are a corporation, a business, if you are someone with left-leaning political views, and you have the coin, funding of any kind, it is the time for you to put that behind creatives like Christina and myself. But it don't gotta be us, because that's not what the point of this is. The point is, although we do need some money.
I'll say it.
The point is, right now, we are facing the results, or some of the results, of corporations, billionaires getting behind these conservative creators and platforming them. We need to be on the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say it should be us and others. And others, absolutely. But I mean, like, it's a lot to create a space like this, especially during this time, especially with what's going on. The types of attacks that, like, one, you can't even prep for. Number one. Number two, you would just have to, and it's when it's just you as the creative, especially Black queer creatives, it's like you be feeling like it's just you. And to a certain point, it kind of is. Like, we had to do this and just create it and go for it. And sometimes to our own, like, I had health stuff going on that I still have to have going on, and like multiple jobs, and like working to the ground, and dealing with like backlash, and not having a team, and not having someone that can help us with a whole bunch of shit. Sans like the set and the producer that helps us with that, which we're so thankful to Josh. It is really important and imperative to back, and not just do Black square shit. You know, the posting the Black square type shit. Like, actually open up a purse, or show up and show out, support, have folks on a panel, invite folks to speak, or just have loud and unapologetic support for the Black queer creatives that are speaking about stuff that is, number one, difficult and vulnerable to speak about, and that can put us in danger. Like, and that's not, we're not being hyperbolic when we say that at all. I mean literal danger. I have not just Shahem and I, but other friends, multiple friends of mine who are out there and don't work like corporate type of jobs and speak their mind, from comedy to creatives to playwrights to writers to poets to podcasters. We're putting ourselves on the line, and it's really important to have out loud support and protection while we do that. And I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah. I will say, like, we do, there are some, but the opportunities are so few and far between. I received a grant, like a creative grant, a creator grant, but it was, I don't want to say it was, because it was really like helpful. Like, I was able to even like survive for another month in this hellscape, like, because of the grant. But I got the grant, and like, I think that I'm so grateful for that one opportunity. But it's like a one-off, right? But like, life continues, and doing this work is very, very hard. And I don't think people understand that we have to like actually survive and live while we're doing this. People want people like Christina and myself, and like so many other people who are out here doing the work. Jamila and Mecca, shouts out to them. Like, people want people like us to exist, but they don't understand that we have to actually feed ourselves at the end of the day. I think it's so important for us to actually say it out loud. Y'all have to help us.
Mm-hmm.
We need the help.
I got called into a meeting one time with a brand that I worked with for over a year. Over a year, because I made a comment about critiquing how they were responding to the Palestinian genocide.
Yeah.
And I got called into a meeting about breaching a contract. And after that, I had 1 more month left on the contract. I haven't worked with them since over a year ago. And I was consistent income monthly that I was getting. But I opened my mouth from a moral, and I was like, I said what I felt like needed, but then that's like that's my livelihood down the drain, that I'm like, now I got to find something else to try to like make ends meet. And you're not wrong to say like people want us, they want people like us. You're saying the things that need to be said, and that's lovely. And I really receive all of those affirmations, and I'm gracious for them. While also behind the scenes, a lot of us are really fucking tired, exhausted, and don't even know what the next 2-3 months look like, let alone 1 month. So
and I work a full-time job, child.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. It
is very, very, very challenging and difficult. Christina said I'm a workhorse. I'm a workhorse because I have to be.
Yeah.
If I don't, I die.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later. That's crazy. That's a work. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'm very looking forward, before we like fully sign off, I'm looking forward to season 2. And I'm very excited. Should we get like Drew Barrymore?
I would love Drew Barrymore if
you could. Us.
Oh, come on.
With the mic, I'm looking. Wait.
You gotta put your leg on the. Hold on.
Sorry.
We gonna tangle up, y'all. Can y'all hear us?
I really am looking. I'm really looking forward. But the mic needs to and swallow a little bit a couple times in the mic. Yeah. I'm really looking forward. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard.
This show is insanity.
It's hard. I'm really happy to be here. Under these studio lights.
Yeah.
With Walter behind the camera.
Thank you, Walter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Josh is in our hearts and spirit, but I'm so excited.
Shouts out to Josh.
He's still here. Mm-hmm. On Earth. He's just not here in the studio.
He didn't die.
Yeah, no, right. But I'm so excited to do season 2 with you and to see what it looks like.
Y'all are gonna gag. I have this idea, sister.
Don't say it.
I'm so happy. I'm not gonna say what the idea is.
I got a couple.
I have this idea. Y'all were really mad at us for our promo the first go round. Y'all gonna gag at season 2.
Oh no. Ready.
Y'all gonna gag. But it's y'all, this is great. Do you want to do Uncultured?
Let's do Uncultured of the Week. Let's go back to our format for the last 2 segments. It's really fun. Uncultured of the Week and Uncancel Court. Do you have Uncultured of the Week?
That is a good question. My Uncultured of the Week is going to be New York City drivers. Jesus Christ. As one of the rare New Yorkers who actually has a car here, transplant, mind you, because I know y'all going to drag me for that. I've been here for 8 years.
Oh, that's damn near. That's a long time.
Yeah, but still, point being,
right?
Like New York City drivers. Oh my God, I have never met a worse bunch of drivers in my life.
Awful.
Please walk. I am begging you. That's it. That's all I gotta say about that.
Please walk. It's funny as fuck.
Exercise your legs.
Please. They're awful out here. Bad.
Real horrible.
Terrible. Oh, God. Anyway, don't get me started because I feel very similarly. Uncultured of the Week. Damn, what was happening this week? I'm really just irritated. I'm very irritated about the Jonathan Majors. And
wait, didn't you say uncancel the cancellation of
I did, and I'm saying it again. I'm saying it for the Uncultured of the Week for this time. Because I see people talking about a smear campaign against him.
No way.
A smear campaign? Because you put your hand, oh, Lord have mercy. And I saw an interview about, like, people were asking, like, how are you managing the fucking audio coming out around da-da-da. And he was saying a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. I'm living life, da-da-da. And he talked like niggas on the fucking sidewalk with a mic and a bean pie. And it irritates me. He's shifting eras. You could see it. But it's bothering me. It's bothering me in my spirit because I feel as though there's something very specific about the Jonathan Majors as like esque,
Yeah.
like that type of kind of like
Manipulation.
And we're so used to seeing the very like grandiose, you know, the P Diddy's and that type of like the R. Kelly's, the it's just grandiose, you know.
I saw a post that summed it up pretty perfectly for me, and it's like, Black people are the most forgiving people on the planet, except when it comes to Black queer people, Black trans people, Black women, Black disabled people, or anybody else.
Yeah. And his specific, like, this is what it is. I think in the era of a whole bunch of like men who are doing the work and reading the books and reading the bell hooks, there's a new level of weaponization of language and weaponization of like emotions that is happening. Right? I think for 20 years from now, there's different phases of feminism, different phases of pull of thoughts that happen and change. And I think this is one of them where we're seeing men who do the work and they're better and they're softer and they're soft masculine, and then they're perpetuating harm under that guise.
Can't go to therapy.
Yeah. So
if y'all need me to elaborate, I can.
We don't have time for that right now.
Yeah.
Save that for season 2 because I'm curious.
I'll come back.
But that is what I think he's an example of like what that manipulation looks like under the guise of someone who knows the right terminology, read the right books, and knows exactly what to do. And that's really dangerous and particularly triggering for me because I've encountered that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, But anyways,
yeah.
Uncancel court. I'm going first.
Okay. Time.
Uncancel the Department of Education.
Oh.
He canceled that shit this week.
Bring it back.
The Department of Education.
Fix it.
The educational department. I mean, I really don't think I need the full minute to say why that is just a drastic mistake. We already struggling with children who were left behind back in 2000 from Bush. We already struggling with reading comprehension and lack thereof. And lack of critical thinking and analytical skills. And I'm saying it because let me tell you something, as someone doing comedy, it takes a lot of intelligence to do comedy. And people, and I feel like that is the barometer to see. When people can't get a joke or they can't understand sarcasm or satire, I'm scared. I'm scared for people. Yeah. I'm scared for folks right now whose reading levels compare to the toddlers that are around them. And
the toddlers outdoing them at this point.
The toddlers are outdoing them at this point. So I am just...
Ain't know about the grandmama, the baby.
The grandmama, the baby, the grandma. It's scary out here. I'm at time, but please uncancel the Department of Education. What are we gonna do?
Agreed, child. Okay.
Alrighty. Your turn.
Okay. My time starts now, y'all.
Go.
Uncancel forgiveness.
Oh.
Yeah. I personally, throughout this entire season, have been on so many ebbs and flows, even on the internet alone, where I have been forced to face my own relationship with forgiveness. And it just has strengthened it so much. And I think we should all reflect on our own personal relationships with what forgiveness is and what it means and how we can practice it the best way we know how. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Any single person who's ever had an issue with me, you are more than welcome to approach me in a respectful, okay, that's the key thing, way, and not a public way where you want to have a public showdown. And I would chop it up with you. I genuinely would like forgiveness to take the forefront for what it is that I want to do. And that is what I'm asking us to uncancel, y'all. That's it.
Wow, beautiful. And with time.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, y'all.
As we go on,
please,
we remember all the times we...
I don't know that song for real. It's time to go. Can
Vitamin C. I think that's that girl name.
Oh my God, the lighter.
Walter just lit a lighter. Thank you, Walter.
It's time to go.
Y'all, thank you so much
for...
This has been such a fun experience. I can't wait for season 2.
I'm telling you, we're going to be back so quick because I know us. It's going to be before June.
Sister signs. We can't help it. It's probably going to be knowing us, Lord Jesus.
You'll see us very soon. We're taking a little break and binge the episodes that we do have.
Please
and
watch all the episodes.
Socials. We'll still be probably posting clips and stuff because we have so many.
Yeah.
But watch the episodes, follow us on YouTube, on Instagram. We're
Please.
almost at 10K on Instagram.
We are.
Yeah, and that's really exciting from like just a couple, weeks, couple months.
Let us know who you want on the show for season 2.
Yes, that part of the reason why we need the break is so we can schedule, because some of these people, they got publicists and they need time. So still like reach out, still be part of the culture. We're just taking a little bit of a pause, but thank y'all so much, and we can't wait for season 2.
Bye, y'all.
For now.